All right. All right. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Otis Landerholm. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Okay. Today we are talking about what every immigrant in the United States needs to know and needs to do in the next 2 months before Trump takes office. I'll repeat that. Today, first of all, welcome to our episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Our topic today is what every immigrant in the United States needs to do in the next 2 months before Trump takes office. Okay? So welcome. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate each of you. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. All right? The Empowered Immigrant Live is where we train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration laws and to make the most out of their lives. All right? Today, our theme is what every immigrant in the United States needs to do in the next 2 months before Trump takes office. Remember that he takes office on January 20th of 2025. All right? Which gives us a little bit more than 2 months to take action, to prepare ourselves and to be ready. All right? So let's get into it. I've got a lot to discuss. All right? The news today is that the Parole in Place program, Keeping Families Together program, is out. All right? It was canceled. It is now dead. And I'm really sorry about that. And a federal judge in Texas decided, I think it's an incorrect decision on the law, right? I think the law actually is pretty clear that the president has the authority over parole, including parole in place. And I think this would have been a very good program, but according to the particular federal judge in this case, nope, they disagree. So this program is out. All right? And we have questions. Our office has received questions about whether or not Trump could use the information of the people who have applied for this program. You know, does USCIS share this information with ICE? And the answer is, we don't know what they're going to do, but theoretically, yes. All right? Anytime you apply for a benefit with immigration, they have your information, right? So theoretically, yes. And there's no indication right now that they will use that. And those folks should be eligible to get a notice to appear first and then to fight their case in court. Like there's not, if that even were to happen, theoretically, every single person in that situation has a fight that they have the right to be heard in front of a judge, right? So if you have doubts about your situation, now that this Parole in Place program is dead, talk it through with your lawyer. All right? Talk it through with your lawyer. Of course, the other news is that Trump won the election 1 week ago. All right? It is Tuesday, the 12th of November. Trump won 1 week ago today, which is bad news, right? It is bad news for immigrants. It's bad news for immigration lawyers. And it's like, okay, let's talk it through. All right, let's not be doom and gloom. Let's instead strategize. Let's think like lawyers about it. What do we need to do? How do we need to be informed so that we take action, so that we maximize your chances of success? Got it? So this is what our topic is about today. All right, and as I'm talking, if you have questions, submit your questions. All right, we're here to help you. We're here to defend you. All right, and so let's go through it. Every immigrant, all right, every immigrant in the United States, you need to know your plan. You need to know your rights, okay? The government has more ability to detain and deport people within 50 miles of the border and at any airport. So you got to know about that, okay? You got to make sure that you're traveling with your original passports, with your original green cards, with your original visas, with your original approval notices, all right? If you were ever in immigration court in the past, you want to make sure that you travel with the judge's orders that your case was taken care of, terminated, dismissed, whatever it was. All right? And if you have any criminal record, you want to make sure to travel with the original certified record of conviction, and you want to talk it through with an immigration attorney before traveling, because the government is going to be more strict. Okay? And you should know your rights. Okay? So, for example, I'm talking the constitutional rights. You have the right to remain silent. So what does that mean? You know? Hey, what's your name? Sorry, officer. I prefer to remain silent. Hey, where are you from? Sorry, officer. I prefer to remain silent. All right? Show me your papers. Sorry, officer. I prefer not to. All right? Because I have the right to remain silent in all respects. I prefer not to show my papers. Well, then I need to arrest you. Officer, on what grounds? All right? You need to arrest me, so be it. Arrest me, and I want to speak with my lawyer. But I am remaining silent. Right? Sometimes that's the right way to do it. You have the right to speak with an attorney. You have the right to not answer your door. You have the right to challenge an arrest, especially if it's an unlawful arrest, which, make no mistake, there will be unlawful arrests. You have the right to suppress evidence that was obtained unlawfully in immigration court. All right? Sometimes that's the way to do it. Now I'm going to go through various statuses. And if you have one of these statuses, listen up. Okay? First, I'm going to talk about people with DACA and people with TPS, temporary protected status. For folks with DACA and TPS, if there is a way to get emergency advanced parole, right? If there's a way to get emergency advanced parole so that you can leave and re-enter, do that now. Okay? Advanced parole will likely go away after Trump takes power. All right? And TPS and DACA might be canceled under Trump as well, since he tried to cancel them last time. He was unsuccessful last time. You know, and some of these things will be challenged again, but it's like, let's take the actions that we can to maximize our chances of getting what we want out of our lives. All right? So it's like, yeah, get emergency advanced parole now if you can, if you have a case for that. All right? If you're married to a United States citizen and you have DACA and TPS, talk with a lawyer now. If you're considering marriage, talk with a lawyer now. Okay? Any case that you can file, talk it through now, because there's wisdom. You know, under Trump 1, they were rejecting applications. All right? Which means you'd be wise to file a case now rather than wait until after January 20th. So that you get your case on file and you get a receipt notice in. That receipt notice in some instances can protect you. Okay? If you have DACA and you're up for renewal, or if you have TPS and you're up for re-registration, renew it now. Okay? If you've never entered with permission before, talk with a lawyer right now about the possibility of emergency advanced parole. The other thing that I like to share is if you have DACA or TPS or any work permit that's potentially temporary in nature, consider starting a business so that you can always get paid. Because if a job can't hire you as a W-2 employee, you can still receive money as a business. Something to think about, okay? That's all I'm going to say for DACA and TPS. The next category of folks, if you have a visa, okay, talk with a lawyer. Like if you're in the U.S. on a fill-in-the-blank visa, talk with your lawyer to make sure that you are complying with the terms of whatever your visa is, all right? And that you know when to extend it or renew it and what your plan is for that. It's going to be more difficult than ever to renew visas after January 20th. So you're going to want to apply for your renewal or your extension as soon as you're ready to do that, okay? All right, like you might want to talk with your lawyer now to see, hey, could we get it renewed now instead of waiting until after January? Next category, if you have a pending case, and like for example, a pending case for asylum or a pending case for a U visa, right? There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are in that situation, all right? Talk it through with your lawyer to see if you could push your case or not. That's more possible in the asylum context, especially if it's a very old case, than in the U visa context, all right? See what you can do to make your case stronger if possible and stay informed about what's happening. If you have a consular case pending and if you're currently outside the U.S., do everything that you can to get back into the U.S. before January 20th. Work with your lawyers. Do what you can to get back into the U.S. now. Okay? Delays are about to get worse. So be proactive. Think about it. Okay? All right. Next category, if you are in the U.S. and you are undocumented. All right? You need to know your options. You need to know your rights. So go back and listen to what I just said about your rights, because yes, they apply to you even if you don't have documents. The Constitution applies to everyone. All right? All people, irrespective of your immigration status, have the right to remain silent. Okay? And if you're in the U.S. and you're undocumented, you need to know your options and you need to be very clear about your situation. So if you haven't run FOIAs yet, you want to run them. You want to make sure that you're clear. Get a consultation with lawyers who actually know the law if you're not clear. And you want to consider 4 questions, all right? Question number 1, you want to consider, do you have an outstanding removal order or a deportation order already against you? Like, were you ever deported at the border? Were you ever deported by an immigration judge? Because if so, you're in the most delicate situation. It's going to be the easiest for Trump to come and find you. All right? It's going to be legally, it's the easiest for immigration to deport a person if there's already an order of deportation signed against them. Okay? So what do you do in that situation? We'll talk about motions to reopen. That makes it much more difficult, all right, for the government to initiate a deportation order if a judge reopens your case. Question number 2, do you know whether or not you're on immigration's radar in any way? Okay? Sometimes that's why we run FOIAs. Question number 3, are you aware of all of your options? Asylum, cancellation of removal, VAWA, U visas, T visas, motions to suppress, motions to reopen, waiver cases, family-based cases, adjustments of status, military-based deferred action and parole in place. All right? Are you aware of what options apply to you? If there are any, you want to be crystal clear on what they are. Okay? And question 4 is, do you have a plan? Because it is wise to create one. Got it? All right. My next category, for people who are currently in removal proceedings, if you are currently in immigration court, okay? If you're in immigration court, what can you do in the next 2 months? I mean, consider filing prosecutorial discretion if you haven't talked that through already. Consider filing that right now if you're thinking about it. That's not going to be easy, right? The government has been pushing back a lot on our PD requests. But if you have a case for it, you might consider filing it now. If there's a way to terminate or dismiss your case right now, do it. Okay? If your case is administratively closed by an immigration court, talk with your lawyer. Because admin closure could very well go away. Okay? And all those cases could be recalled and put back on the court's calendar. If you're not in those situations, okay, talk it through, do what you can to make your case as strong as possible. All right? It will still be possible to win cases in immigration court, right? Even under Trump 1, my office won a bunch of cases in immigration court because that doesn't depend on the president, that depends on the judge. All right? There are still good judges, some. All right, and there will still be some good judges, you know. I mean, just consider, like half, statistically speaking, half of the immigration judges voted for Harris, right? So just think about that. All right, next category. If you have a green card, all right, if you have a green card, 5 things to consider. 1, file petitions for spouses and children if you haven't already. 2, obey all laws to avoid losing your green card. Okay? 3, make sure to talk with a lawyer if you have any questions about your rights to travel and work. Don't leave the U.S. for more than 180 days. Don't leave the U.S. at all if you have certain criminal convictions. All right? 4, if your green card is about to expire, renew it now. All right? And 5, if you're eligible for citizenship, apply now. Get your receipt notice in before January 20th. My final category is if you're a U.S. citizen. All right? If you are a U.S. citizen, you can petition for spouses, parents, sons, daughters, fiancés, and siblings. All right? Those petitions can take years, depending on the category. You know, they're quicker for spouses, unmarried children, and parents, and fiancés. They're slower for other categories, but you can get the petitions started now. All right? Under Trump 1, Trump and his administration might try to denaturalize some people. And that's typically on the, you only need to worry about that typically if you got your citizenship through fraud. Okay, if there was some kind of lie or misrepresentation during the citizenship case. And if you're worried about that at all, talk with a lawyer. Okay? Next category is if you are thinking of filing a case. If you are, potentially looking to do something, my best advice is do not delay. All right, I said this earlier. Under the first Trump administration, many applications were rejected for no reason. All right? And in my opinion, you're better off getting your case on file and having receipt notices before any change in regulation, before any change in law or policy, before any increase in filing fees, before a new government can do anything that might negatively affect your eligibility. All right? So if you're thinking of filing, don't delay. Talk with a lawyer, not a notario, please. talk with a lawyer who knows how to defend you. And that's basically my list of everything that people need to have on their minds. Okay? So I just said a lot. I went through each category I could think of. Are there questions? Let me know what questions you have. All right, and I'll be here. Let's get to it. Let's see here. So, Manuel González, disculpe, abogado, ¿se puede aplicar para la visa U desde México? All right. So your question, and I'll do this whole episode again in Spanish in just a few minutes. All right. But let me answer that question in English since this is our English episode. So, Manuel, thank you for asking this question. Your question is, lawyer, can I apply for a U visa from Mexico? The answer is yes, you can. All right, yes, you can. But you have to have been the victim of a crime and helpful to the police, in the investigation or prosecution of that crime in the United States. Right? So you can apply for a U visa from Mexico as long as you were the victim of a crime in the United States and helped a law enforcement agency in the United States. All right? Otherwise, you will not be eligible for a U visa. Does that make sense? But if you're in that situation, which there are people who are in that situation, then give us a call, right? We'd love to help you apply for your U visa even though you're not physically present in the U.S. Yeah, we've done it. Okay, Lucky Singh, I see you here. I have a green card through VAWA from back in 2019. I got a DUI conviction in 2021. Will it affect me if I travel or apply for citizenship? So when you travel with a DUI conviction, take your original certified conviction records because the border will want to see them if you travel outside the U.S. If you're applying for citizenship, then they're going to look. You have to have 5 years with your green card, all right, which it looks like you do. You got your VAWA in 2019. It's now 2024. So that should be 5 years depending on when you got your VAWA approved, all right, your green card approved. But you also have to show you're a person of quote-unquote good moral character within the 5 years. The DUI can, in some instances, be considered against you, right, in that when it happened in that 5-year period, which means that you'll want to present evidence. You want to present, you want to show that you've complied 100% with that order. You can apply for citizenship, but you're going to want to do it with evidence that you have reformed, that you're rehabilitated, that you are a quote-unquote person of good moral character. Okay? Lamara, I see you here. Will stays of removal still be available? That's a great question, Lamara. Thank you for asking that question. Will stays of removal be available? Well, that's a complicated question because there are stays of removal that get requested from a judge, and then there are stays of removal that get requested from ICE directly. Stays of removal from a judge will still be available. Like, for example, if you file a motion to reopen or an appeal, and you file a stay request asking that ICE, asking the judge to order your stay while your appeal or your motion is pending, that will still be available and will be very important. All right? ICE stays on Form ICE 246, they are still possible, but they will be difficult. All right? It will be unlikely that those get, in the vast majority of cases, those will become useless. All right? In a very small percentage of cases, that will still be worth doing. All right? So under Trump 1, they were just ignoring our ICE 246 applications. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right? Kelvin Matobula, thank you for asking your question. You say, Trump 1, is it too late to file a joint motion to reopen? I'm waiting I'm awaiting a response to a U visa that I applied for in March 2021, and also my I-130 that I applied for September 2024. So, no, it is not too late to file for a joint motion to reopen. In fact, that's a wise strategy. If you're gonna request a joint motion to reopen, now's the perfect time to request it. All right? Like now or never, right? Because after January 20th, they will not join your motion to reopen. So if you're considering doing a joint motion to reopen, do it now. Okay? And obviously, a joint motion to reopen, it's up to the government as to whether or not they will actually join. Okay? All right. I think those are all the questions. Let's see. Do I have any other questions that have come in? Yep. So, Kevin, I see you there. How does Trump coming into power affect immigration? I mean, welcome to our live session. That's what I invite you to go back and listen to this whole episode. That's what I've been talking about. It's going to have tremendous effects on every immigration case out there. If I do a master's in the U.S., can I apply for a work visa? Maybe. All right. Thank you for asking that. Yeah. Answer is maybe. Get an employer to sponsor your visa. That is possible. Spouse on military deployment. Interview was sent. What should I do? Talk to a lawyer, Cindy. I see you there. Talk to a lawyer about what type of interview you have applied for. Like, is this a citizenship case? It's not clear what type, what should you do? I mean, if you have an interview with the government, then, you should attend it, but talk to a lawyer about it, right? Talk to a lawyer about it. Let's see what other questions are here on TikTok. Everybody here on TikTok, thank you all so much for your questions. And thanks for being here, So anyway, everybody on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, hey, thank you all so much for being here. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. We are here to support you. I don't care who's in power. All right, we are here to support you. My empowerment tip today is real simple. Never give up hope. All right, never give up fighting for what you believe in. Just don't give up. All right, don't give up. Like, let's live our lives. All right, just because there's an anti-immigrant sentiment that's going to be in power, like, doesn't mean that you got to stop living your life, and it doesn't mean that you need to stop giving up in the possibility for immigration reforms for the future, right? Like, there's a pendulum that swings, all right? And it's swinging to the right. And it just makes you wonder what might happen in the future. And, in fact, there will be a dark time, and I believe that it is very possible that it will lead to a brighter future afterward, right? Martin Luther King has this great quote that I love. He says that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And I believe that. All right? And that's an optimistic hope. That's an optimistic saying, a hopeful saying. And I want to leave you with something that is hopeful. We had one case who we fought long and hard for, who re-entered the United States and was issued a green card on Sunday. And so congratulations if you're listening to me. Huge congratulations to you and your family. It will still be possible to win cases, folks, but you're going to need to strategize. how to maximize your chances of success, because that is what it's going to take. Working together, we can make things happen. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Let me stop there and let me get into my Spanish version of this same video. Thank you all so much for being here. All right, it's going to be more important than ever to stay informed. So if this was useful, if this was helpful, please subscribe to our channel. Please follow our Empowered Immigrant Lives so that you can stay informed of what's going on. And yeah, if we can help you in any way with your immigration process, we're here to help. We'd love to help. Okay? That's all I got, folks. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm Otis Landerholm, Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And we'll see you next time on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.